This is a tutorial for how I added hair extensions which I made to my Wriothesley wig. So you want to get your wig and kind of understand where the areas of hair you're missing. So I notified like a spot here, there was no grey hair that comes at the front, and also on the side it was looking a bit thin. There was a bit of grey hair, but I didn't think it was enough to make a very clear spike. And I went around all the wig and kind of identified which spots I wanted to add. You may have multiple colours, but for me it was just grey. So then I got my hair, which I was going to use for my hair extension. I would have to make the extensions because they are not attached. Sometimes you can buy hair strands that are already come attached that you can just clip onto the hair. This is literally just strands of hair. Then proceeded to place them on a non-sticky surface or a surface that wouldn't be affected too much by glue, so hence a marble chopping board. But I have seen people do it with paper, but the chances are you can rip the paper up and it can get caught in the hair with glue. So what I did on my non-sticky chopping board was spread out the hair, as you can see here. I tried to spread it out quite evenly, as we'll want the glue to be able to reach all hair particles. And as you can see here, I held it and tried to brush it out, and then you'll just see me, as I said, spread it out. While spreading out, you want to try and make sure it's as even as possible and that it doesn't get tangled. As you can see, I'm trying to brush here to keep it straight because tangling can cause a bit of confusion and get a bit messy later on. So then what I did to try and keep them all in the same place, I put a bit of sellotape over, and this is why it's important to make sure they're all spread evenly so the sellotape can stick to each individual hair and it's not too clumped together. This will help also the glue to not affect too much of the hair extension, which we will put on in a sec. Then I got some glue, so clear gel tacky glue. This works really well. It can be found from Amazon, eBay, or a lot of DIY stores. I put this over the top of the band just before the sellotape, and then I used, as you can see here, a paintbrush, a soft paintbrush, to help just brush it in and make sure this glue can kind of touch all bits of hair. Now what I might recommend doing here is splitting it into the strands of hair extensions you want. I did it all in one go and split it later, but either way method works. It's just what's easier for you. Normally what I'd recommend is to then wait overnight for it to dry, but I was impatient so I used a hairdryer. But if you do use a hairdryer, make sure to have it on the lowest push setting, like pressure setting, as to not disturb all the hairs. But it is a water-based glue, so a hairdryer will help dry it. Again, I still think it's better to wait and leave it overnight. Once it was dry, as you can see here, I went to flip it over. The glue, we only glued one side, and because some areas may have more hair than others, the glue might not reach all the hair. So we need to very gently, and this is why it's good to have a non-sticky surface, whereas paper, this would where it get a bit hard, is we want to try and flip it over. So carefully, I peeled it back, trying to keep it all together. This is why some people could say it'd be a good idea to do different strands individually originally, but I wanted to keep it all the same, so hence I've done it in one big strip. You have to be careful because as you can see it kept slipping. This was because of the weight of the hair, so I got some heavier objects, hence a tomato sauce bottle and the glue just to hold it in place. Then with the glue I repeated the same step on the other side to make sure that all strands of hair were with glue and securely placed. I then cut up several bits of lace front mesh. As you can see here, you can see the size according to my finger, and that's for how long I wanted each extension to be. Then I got each bit of mesh, as you can see here, and put them on top of the glue. So you want the glue to still be freshly kind of tacky at this point, or just add an extra bit of glue if you need. And then what I did was I split each strand into how long I wanted it and where I feel it could naturally go. If you left the glue to dry, this might be a bit harder to do, but just use some scissors, or here you can see I used a comb just to help separate it and very gently pull it apart once it was done. Once it was separate, to help again stick the mesh down, it doesn't matter how much glue there is, it will turn invisible and you'll still be able to stitch through it later. I added some more glue just to help firm that edge on. What you do want to make sure here is that the mesh is covering all of the hair strands and that it's not, some of them are not loose, because when you brush it out later they will just pull out and they won't be secure. Here you can see a bit of a close-up of what it looked like once it had been done. I then did cut it to help it untangle from the rest of them. I made sure it was extra long and that it was a lot longer than I knew I'd need it to be. And here you can see I repeated the process with the rest of the strands, trying to separate them as smoothly as possible. So here you can see them all done. As you can see at the end, I made 2 smaller strands because I knew 2 of the strands I wanted would be smaller. So you need to make them in the size you want them. Then to make sure they were extra secure, I got more mesh and stuck them on the other side of the hair extension. So I'd flip them over at this point. You can also see the amount of glue I used and that it honestly doesn't matter in the overall effect. So then you have to wait till they're fully dry, and what I did was I went over and brushed each strand. There will be bits that come out, and don't worry, this is natural. There are going to be bits where you cut or get them tangled. The bits will come out. So I went over and brushed each bit. You can't see really how much came out, but there was quite a bit, but there was still enough in each hair extension to make a significant difference on the wig. So I went through at this point and decided to crimp each hair strand. This can be done once the hair is attached to the wig, but then it can be quite hard to get near the base and you don't want to affect the glue too much with heat at that point. So I went through and crimped it now, but this can be done later. It's just up to your preference. All I will add though is that you want to crimp or style your wig unless it's curls before you cut it, because crimping, for example, does shorten the wig. So this next step you can't skip if you're happy with the strength of your wig extensions already, but what you can do extra is get a needle and thread with the thread the same colour and basically stitch in using a back thread stitch, I believe it's called. You can see what I do here, the wig to help wrap each of the threads around each other and pull them together. This will just help create that extra security of them being tied in place. And this is why also the mesh, you can see, is very good because it has areas where you can thread the needle through and secure it. So now that basically one strand is all done, you're going to want to cut it. So make sure that you've got mesh on both sides. And if it is above the stitching, you want to make sure you cut as close to the stitching as you realistically can so that the meshing area is quite small. This is because this will be on the wig and you don't want this to be visible. Then to make it as small as possible, try and reduce the size. Any bit that you can cut off that won't affect where the hair is stuck is good. I then repeated this process for all my different hair strands, and here you can see the result. Now it's time to attach your hair strand to your wig. So I identified where I wanted it to be. I made sure there was a bit of hair to go over where I was attaching it so you couldn't see that the hair extension had been attached. So at this point you have to take your wig off the wig stand, identify again where exactly you want it to go, making sure there's a bit to go over it to cover it, and then you'll get your hair extension and put it in its place. You want to make sure that the hair extension is going with the wig. Don't make it stick out or show at a weird angle. It will make it very obvious that this hair extension has been added. Then using a needle and thread, I stitch the hair extension in place. I have seen people do this with glue, but the problem I find there is that it can get very messy and you can accidentally glue bits of your wig that you don't want to. So to keep it neat and clean, I use a needle and thread. What you won't see here is that I did put 2 bits down. For every bit of hair extension I added 2 wefts down to help just create that thickness so it wasn't so thin. So at this point you want to check that it's strong enough, so give it a good tug, make sure your wig is pinned down to the wig stand, and if we look a bit closer going in, you can see where the hair extension is added. That's why you want that bit of hair over the top. So then going in to add another bit, I've separated the hair above very neatly and I identify where I want to stitch my extension to and roughly what angle I kind of want it coming off at. So you can see here, I pin it against where I want it to be. That first one's always hard and I start from underneath so there's as little thread showing as possible. And then I just stitch it in over and over again, making sure it's not going against the wig. And then I repeat this process for anywhere I want to add extensions. Now that the hair extension is attached, you can kind of see it does drop down. It doesn't go with the wig, which would be at this diagonal angle you can see here. So a way to reform the fibers and kind of to help set the fibers is to use what's known as a steamer. As you can see here, it's a very cheap steamer I got from the range, and just steam it while holding it in the position you want it to be. and letting it set, and it will then more naturally come at that angle. All hair extensions added, and my dude be looking like Lovelace out of Happy Feet. And because you probably don't want him looking like Lovelace the whole time, you're going to want to cut your hair extensions. So first I'll go in just to get rid of all that excess baggage and cut it straight with a normal pair of just hairdressing scissors. Longer than I will need, because then I will go in with thinning scissors, as you can see here. And I will thin out the hair, going in at diagonal angles, especially to help thin those corners, to help get that more spike effect, what I need. Remember, you can always cut more off, but you can't add stuff on. So just cut a bit off, see what it's like, and brush it through with a comb with these thinning scissors, because sometimes you don't realize how much you can actually cut off. And then I just repeated the process over and over, cutting, thinning, brushing, cutting, thinning, brushing, until I kind of got the desired effect that I wanted. Next, what you won't see here, but I'll add a link to a video, is I went round, crimped the whole wig and styled into spikes and shapes that I wanted. And I've done several tutorials on this for Alhaitham and Tartaglia. And that's how I got my desired effect and how I got the wig looking like how it did at the end. So here was the finished Wriothesley wig. As you can see, the areas where we've added that little grey bit at the front and then grey bits at the side. I am doing a wig tutorial video for how I made that fake hairline that you can see at the front. There's a bit we were just cutting. If we move in a bit closer, you can see you can't see where it's attached. If you have any questions, please just answer in the comments. I try to reply to all of them, and give me a like and subscribe. Hopefully see you next time. Bye!